Greetings and onomatopoeia to those out there creating the new sound. I'm your host, Lynn Burg, and welcome to the Proverbs of Being. Proverbs of Being is a 52-week instructional and guided handbook as well as workout, working to inspire those to think with balance.
On behalf of Arlen and the Church of the New Sound, we'd like to thank and welcome you for your attendance here in Week 14. Well, let's get started. Week 14 Proverb says, having a mission tied to principles, values, and guidelines will help prompt availability and ability to keeping the first things first. When we talk about mission, principles, values, and guidelines, we're referring to the foundational elements that shape how we approach our personal and professional lives. A mission provides us with a sense of purpose and direction. Principles and values define the ethics and standards we adhere to. And guidelines are the methods or frameworks that help us execute our mission effectively. At the heart of this discussion is the idea that having a mission that is anchored in these elements doesn't just offer clarity, it also enhances our ability to stay focused on what matters most. Let's break this down further. 1. Mission as a North Star. A mission gives us a clear goal or purpose, a North Star that guides us when the road becomes unclear. Without a mission, it's easy to get distracted by fleeting priorities or external pressures. However, when our mission is grounded in core principles and values, it becomes a more powerful motivator. This mission becomes a filter through which we process and assess opportunities, challenges, and decisions. We ask ourselves, does this align with my mission? If it does, we can process with confidence. If not, we have the clarity to say no and stay focused on our primary objectives. 2. Principles and values as the foundation. Principles and values are the bedrock on which our mission stands. They are the guiding compass that ensure we stay aligned with our mission even when circumstances change or challenges arise. For example, if one of your core values is integrity, your decisions will be guided by the desire to uphold honesty and ethical conduct, no matter the situation. This sense of inner consistency allows us to be more available, not only to ourselves, but to others who rely on our judgment and leadership. When your actions consistently reflect your principle, people begin to trust and respect your reliability. 3. Guidelines as the roadmap. Guidelines, on the other hand, are the methods and strategies that help us translate our mission into action. They are the practical tools that keep us on track. For example, if your mission is to become a cybersecurity expert, your guidelines might include setting aside time each day to learn new skills, seeking mentorship, and practicing ethical decision-making in all your work. These guidelines ensure that we keep our mission at the forefront, even when our schedules become crowded or chaotic. They help us stay organized, prioritize effectively, and allocate our time to what truly matters. Prompt availability and ability to keep first things first. Having a mission tied to principles, values, and guidelines doesn't just make you more focused, it also makes you more available. We all have limited time and energy, but by aligning our actions with what truly matters, we conserve our resources for the most important tasks. For instance, if you know that family, career advancement, and personal growth are your core priorities, you can more easily decide what gets your time and attention. This also enhances our ability to keep the first things first. Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about the importance of prioritizing what's important, not just what's urgent. When we base our decisions on a solid mission supported by values and guidelines, we are better equipped to distinguish between what is truly important versus distractions that may seem urgent but don't align with our core purpose. 5. Real-world application. In real-world scenarios, Whether in business, personal development, or leadership, this alignment is what separates high performers from those who struggle to stay on track. For example, if you're a cybersecurity professional, staying updated with the latest threats and technology is critical. If your mission is to protect and secure information, your principles and guidelines will help ensure you are not only available, but also competent and ready when it counts most. In conclusion, having a mission that is firmly tied to your principles, values, and guidelines is essential for maintaining focus, increasing productivity, and ensuring that you stay on course even when challenges arise. It provides the structure necessary for being available to yourself and others and keep you centered on what truly matters. By continually prioritizing the first things, the essential tasks that align with your mission, you make it possible to achieve your goals while living in alignment with your highest values.
At this moment, we're going to take time to hear from the congregation and how the proverb resonated with them in their life.
Grand Rising, my beautiful people. This is Supreme, also known as Emilius, also known as Phil for Real. And today we're doing proverb number 14, which is, having a mission tied to principles, values, and guidelines will help prompt availability and ability to keep in the first things first. Now let's dig into that a little bit. Having a mission tied to principles, values, and guidelines will help you prompt availability, period. Once you're dedicated, loyal, and move off of these values and guidelines, that'll help keep you available and open to even, let's say, bad possibilities. But as long as you stick to the objective and keep the first things first, which comes out to be the equivalent of just being tied to your values and guidelines, that it opens a lot of doors, man. It also can, shut a lot of doors if you are focused on, let's say, your mission is the wrong thing, you got some bad principles, then hey, we all know what comes with that. But I promise it'll help, keep availability to you sticking to that first thing that you said you're gonna do. You're like, you know what? This is what I need to do now. If you don't stay focused and upon those guidelines of your values and principles, man, everything else gonna fall. Everything else gonna fall. So stay focused, keep that availability going, and stay able to keep the first things first. That's all I have for y'all today. Peace and blessings. Peace.
Week 14, Proverbs says, having a mission tied to principle, values, and guidelines will help prompt availability and ability to keep the first thing real, or first things first. I'll reread that. Week 14, Proverbs says, having a mission tied to principles, values, and guidelines help prompt availability and ability to keeping first things first. First things first. I think a lot of people use that. You need to learn how to prioritize. When everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. Put your resources, your time and effort and resources to the priority. Sometimes resources run short and not everybody's going to get a slice of the pie, but first things first. And with that attitude, everything will fall into place.
Montgomery Analytica here. And today we're going to talk about having a mission tied to your principles. Basically what you want to do is have purpose in life. When you have a purpose, everything makes sense to you. You're living, you're not just existing. So in order to have purpose in your life, what you need to do is sit down and ask yourself, who do I want to be? And figure out why you can't do it. Whatever you feel or your belief is why you can't do it, I want you to sit down and find a way to do it, because those ain't nothing but excuses. Everything that you do is based off imagination. So everything is a thought form. All you have to do is have the emotions behind it and believe in what you're trying to do. Act as if you already have it. And as you act it, you do the things that it takes to make that come to reality. So the formula for this is be, do, have. Be what you want to what you want to become. Do a little bit, have a little bit. Do a lot, have a lot. So it's all on you. All you have to do is think it, act it, and do it.
Switch Caso, I believe everything should come up. It says, basically like, whatever mission you're on, everything comes with value. Everything comes with principles. You gotta have a purpose of everything you do in life. What is your purpose of wanting to be a director? What is your purpose of wanting to be a rapper? You gotta have a consistent plan. Everything gotta have a purpose in everything you do.
Yes, well, there's your guidelines, your focus. I mean, it's got to be maintained because there's an order of doing things and to getting something accomplished. So if you don't set those guidelines and set those step-by-step achievements or goals, then you're just gonna have failures, and you've got to keep the right mindset. You've got to stay focused in step-by-step occurrences and achieving what you've set out to do for yourself.
So it's the rep to Jace Cook. And in week 14, we're talking about having a mission that's tied to something real. And that's what's always gonna make sure that mission is first. A lot of people get interest in things and it's an interest. It's not their mission, so they get easily flustered and I'm gonna do this, and that. But if your mission is tied in something for real, like, you know what, I stand for this cause and my mission is for this cause, especially if it's a cause you believe in, live in, it's always gonna be easier to keep that mission first. It's tied to something. If you just seen someone else do something and you wanna, oh, that look cool, let me see how that is, you won't keep that mission first and you'll easily flare out. But that's just life. That's the filtering system. So make sure whatever you're doing, your passion, whatever it is tied to something real, and your passion be tied to, I love shoestrings. I grew up and shoestrings was just my favorite thing. Your passion, if whatever your mission is tied into that, it makes sense. Loose example, but you smell me. Peace.
So I place myself in a spot where I'm able to be available. With that being said, I came up with some mission, values, and principles, and I stay consistent with the branding of such. Began in the wintertime, I needed a hoodie. Some people may need a park or things of that nature, but I live along the I-10, so all I needed was a hoodie, so I got that. But before I got to the wintertime where I needed a hoodie, it was fall. But I was prepared because I stayed consistent in putting the first things first. And I needed to make sure that myself and those who are a part of the new sound, onomatopoeia to those, were able to be protected mentally, spiritually, as well as physically from the elements. So we all know that everything rises anew in spring, which we are in now. So I was prepared for that as well because I knew that all those out there creating a new sound onomatopoeia to you would need apparel for the spring.
which is a short sleeve t-shirt. But yet and still, we kept it consistent with thinking on how they would be needed to be fitted for the summer, because it gets quite hot here below the I-10, along the I-10, actually below the 40. It gets a little bit hotter than above. So you gotta make sure that you're ready for the summertime heat as well. But yet and still, the mission, principles, values remained the same. So we kept integrity while still changing fashions. People, we in week 14. Making great progress. I'm glad to be with you. Hey, I'm Lynn Burg, and these are the Proverbs of Being.
So, congregation, if you have yet to receive your copies of the Proverbs of Being, go ahead and log on to thenewsoundempire.com. Click under manuscripts, order now. And while you're there, become a member. Hey, the price of admission is only that you admit that you're ready to make a change towards balanced thinking, show honor and truth, and be ready to become somebody. Hey, I'm Lynn Burg, and I'll see you here next week for the Proverbs of Being.